and everything, but typically I'll just sit back and enjoy it. I don't have a problem sacrificing science for a story if the story needs to sacrifice the science. So, enjoy the movie. It's okay.
All right. Thank you. Team Edison or Team Tesla?
Well, yeah, I saw that question. I don't know how to answer that. I've seen the Tesla cars driving around Boulder, and they're awesome. And I've seen a Tesla coil. I was up close to a huge Tesla coil last year, and it was really cool. And of course, the U.S. government is using Tesla coils to zap down UFOs. I've read this on the web, and so I could go with Tesla.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's 2 Team Teslas so far, isn't it?
Yep.
Come to think of it, Edison was my rival high school, so yeah, I'll go with Tesla.
All right.
Take that, Edison.
No reason as any.
Okay, so here's a question for you that's sort of related to a current sort of debated finding that I've seen you talking about a fair bit. Do you think that we will see the breaking of the speed of light by the end of this generation?
No.
No.
Or any generation.
Ooh.
Bus cam is down?
I don't know.
Bus
I don't
cams.
feel the need to defend that. It's got all of science behind me, so.
Perfect. That's excellent.
No, I don't mean to be so smart. Yeah, I've been writing about these faster than light neutrinos. This whole foo-fra that's coming out of Europe, and most people are fairly sure this is some sort of error that these guys made in the timing of the experiment, where they made neutrinos over here, and then they measured how long it took them to get over here, and they got there faster than the speed of light. Chances are they just timed this thing poorly. They're using a timing apparatus that has never been done in an experiment like this. They're actually using GPS. And so everybody's fairly convinced that the timing is off. But it's getting a lot of interesting comments when I write about it. And one person was saying, hey, look, Chuck Yeager said, what sound barrier? And it's like, yeah, but you see, the sound barrier is not a physical barrier. It's just the speed of sound. It's an engineering problem, not a physical one. You have to build something that withstand that kind of pressure. Going faster than light is a violation of almost every physical law that we know. It would be awesome if we found out that things could move faster than light. But right now, that's such a fundamental limit in physics. It would have to be outstanding evidence for it to be believed at all. So I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Well, crap.
And you're always now let me tell you about the equations here.
Let me see here.
We do have an auction thing.
We do have an auction to do, so we can get to that.
Uh-oh. Doesn't involve singing, does it?
No,
it doesn't have to.
Wait.
I mean, it can if you want it to.
Feelings. Whoa.
Have you had any recent encounters with the types of pseudoscience you used to deal with very often, and still do?
What?
Like, sorry, have you had any
That's
recent...
an unusually parsed sentence.
It was. Sorry. Have you had any recent encounters with the various sort of types of pseudoscience that you tend to debunk on your blog? Anything recent that springs to mind?
You mean like face-to-face, or...
Just...
Because that does happen, yeah.
Sure, face-to-face. The question's not more specific. I'm just sort of telling you as it goes.
Yeah, and you're probably getting a lot of donations during that whole dead air thing when we're just looking at each other. Okay. Yeah.
I was like $1,000 right there.
Face-to-face is rare because I hardly ever leave my house. But it does happen. And last year at the Amazing Meeting at James Randi's Skeptic Conference, which is every year in July in Las Vegas, there was a dyed-in-the-wool moon hoax believer, a guy who thinks the Apollo missions were faked.
Oh my God.
And he makes these YouTube videos which are inaccurate, which would be a euphemism.
Nice.
And he kind of confronted me and wouldn't leave me alone. Even after I was telling him, look, I'm here talking with friends, please go bug somebody else. He kept pestering me and showing me things like, did you know the president was ready to have a speech saying that the astronauts had died in space? And I thought, yes, and how does that show that it was a fake? Did you know this and that? It's like it's all this stuff that kind of has to do with Apollo, but not really, and doesn't really have any evidentiary basis toward it being a fake. It was just weird stuff. And it's like, dude, come on, show me how they faked it, or show me that they couldn't do it. But they can't do that because they didn't fake it and they did do it. And in fact, this guy, Adam Savage from Mythbusters,
Oh, I've heard of him.
gave a talk. What's that?
Oh, I said I've heard of him.
Yeah. Really good looking guy, you know, bald, red hair, beard, glasses. He gave a talk at this meeting, and then the Moonhooks guy started asking him questions, and Adam just basically slammed him. I want to think that that's online someplace, but he basically says, listen, he says, you can say what you want, but I'm coming from the direction of, I know that I'm right, and I know that you're wrong. It was actually pretty awesome. That's cool. So there you go. Trying to think of anything else. I can't really think of anything else.
I was saying I hated those people.
Oh.
Is this something you'd like to share with the rest of the class?
I was saying I hate those people, but then I thought maybe I shouldn't say that, so...
No, I hate them too.
Yeah!
Yeah.
And
You know, they all kick puppies. I've seen it every single last one.
I'll tell you, you know who hates them the most? Buzz Aldrin.
Oh.
You've seen that video, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have I seen that video?
Yes.
Come on, guy.
Yeah.
That was in September of 2003 when Buzz Aldrin was giving a talk, and Bart Sibrel popped out of the bushes, almost literally, with a and started harassing Buzz Aldrin. Now, Bart Sibrel has made a bunch of incredibly wrong videos, but about the moon landings, about saying how Apollo was fake. But he had his heyday a few years ago. People were kind of believing what he was saying because that terrible, terrible Fox TV show called Conspiracy Theory. Did we land on the moon?
Yep.
You know, and the answer is yes.
It's very short.
And they talked to him about some of that stuff, and he was making videos. He had a website, and the stuff he said is just so utterly easy to debunk. It's just crap. And he was basically more of a showman than anything else. And so he literally cornered Buzz Aldrin. And you know, Bart Sibrel is well over 6 feet tall. Buzz Aldrin is like 5'11", 160 pounds, something like that. Bart's very large, and was looming over Buzz Aldrin. Now, I love this part because he says, you know, will you swear on a Bible that you stepped foot on the moon? And Buzz is like, get out of my face. And Bart said, you won't swear on this Bible because you're a liar and a coward and a thief. And then I think he went, oof, because that's when Buzz clocked him.
Yes!
Even if Buzz didn't walk on the moon, which he did, he used to shoot down MiGs for a living in the probably not a good guy to corner. And then Bart Sibrel had the temerity to actually sue him for assault, and the judge threw it out. I mean, when you look at the video that Bart Sibrel actually wound up trying to sell to the news stations, you can see that Bart was in this guy's face. Buzz clocked him and moved on. It was clearly a defensive measure, and this was all done for show. You could tell because after Buzz hit him, Bart Sibrel didn't say, you're doing that because of years of pent-up guilt and all that stuff. He turned to the camera and said, did you get that? Little bit of a tell there.
Just a little.
Wow. So yes, I'm aware of Buzz Aldrin hitting that guy.
I got another question here for you. If you could send a manned mission to anywhere in the universe, ignoring the feasibility of getting there in a reasonable amount of time, where would you most like to go?
The snide answer would get me in trouble.
Go on.
Do go on.
A manned mission anywhere in the universe?
It's Disneyland, isn't it?
Real place is not
My
fictional
mind.
lands.
Golly, I didn't actually see that question.
It's
It's
was
hard to
posted a
say.
minute ago.
Mars is such an easy answer, but it depends. It depends on the circumstances. You can't ask a scientist a question like that because they say, "Well, it depends." Now, are we talking about travel? Do we have suspended animation? Are we using current technology? If I could tell NASA, and I had unlimited money, what should be our next goal? I would say the moon, Mars, and asteroids. If you were saying, "Hey, just for grins," I'd probably say Saturn, because I think going to Saturn would be really cool. But if I were anywhere in the universe, most objects in the universe wouldn't be that interesting up close to see, unfortunately. I shouldn't say, I don't want to phrase that way, but see these gorgeous pictures of like the Orion Nebula or the Pillars of Creation and those things. The thing is, if you get up close to them, they won't look like that. You're looking at it through a telescope, there are filters being used, And when you get close to them and they're spread out over the sky, their light is very faint. And so they actually look much fainter if you were hanging over them than you would when you see them through a telescope. So really, the things that are cool are like stars, planets, that kind of thing. And you know, we have a star, we have planets here. And it would be interesting to see some of these other objects up close. But of the common objects, I do think Saturn. I think that would really be pretty intense. You look at those Cassini pictures coming back from that planet, they're gorgeous, one after another. To be able to actually, you know, hang in orbit there and see that with your own eyes would be pretty damn cool.
Yeah. Okay.
And once again, I have talked you into stunned silence.
Well, I was
We're
just thinking about how
enthralled.
cool that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want
I'm
to go.
imagining it. Send me.
Yeah.
Send Liz. Well, send Liz on an errand. That's what we usually do.
In space.
Liz, we need some ice. Go to Saturn's rings and
Got
mine
it.
some, will you?
What's your favorite weird or wondrous little oddity? The question is in the universe, but feel free to limit that as well, because there's a lot of oddities and weirdness in the universe.
Are you
So,
asking him what his space
What's-
oddity is?
yes, what is your favorite space oddity?
I've been told to Major Tom. I'm getting pretty good at that on Rock Band, actually.
Nice.
Boy, the favorite odd thing. I don't know. There's the right answer, and then there's like the actual answer. The actual answer is probably these rings that are around a star that blew up in 1987. Oh, wait. I'm gonna do a terrible thing. I'm gonna go off camera.
Yay!
Chair.
Chair is spinning slowly.
And screw
I'm
all of you, by the way.
Aw. Yay, you're back!
Yeah, he's off camera.
We're so
Yeah, you
happy
can see
you're back.
my bookshelf better, right? Can you see that?
Mm.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So that's a Hubble picture. In the middle, I can't see what I'm doing. There is a star that blew up in 1987. And what happened was, when they pointed Hubble at it, we got this weird thing where it got these three rings, and it's like an hourglass, like this. And you've got a ring up here and a ring down here, and then a thicker ring in the middle. And there's not a really good explanation for this. We've seen objects like this, but it's when we saw it, it was unique. And I studied it for years. I got my PhD studying basically, not this image, but ones taken earlier than that. And it's bizarre. And there are a couple of explanations now, but nobody's really quite sure. And now we found a couple of other objects like it. So see, that's the actual answer. And there's probably a better answer for an interview on camera to get people to donate money. And anybody watching this should be donating money.
That's a great answer.
You know what? Hang on. Let's open up Twitter. Kelly Astris says I'm on Desert Bus right now. Desert Bus says I'm on Desert Bus right now. N. Perkins says I'm on Desert. Everybody's just saying I'm on Desert Bus right now.
Wait, hold on.
And hopping fun.
I think someone else is about to say you're on Desert Bus.
Yeah.
Is any of that you? Is nobody's watching it? It's just all people that's sitting there, tweeting while I'm talking.
On the topic of Twitter, the chat has asked you, maybe when we're done the call, to post that picture to Twitter, because everybody would like to see a picture of it that's a little more visible.
Can we get, what's his Twitter address?
Bad Astronomer.
Bad Astronomer.
All one
Just go and look up Hubble supernova, and you'll find it.
All right.
Pretty much that easy. Matter of fact, if you were to type it, you could probably put it up on Skullcam now, or whatever it is you're doing to directly do the internet.
In fact,
with-
there it is. I found it. It was the first image.
Yeah.
It's tiny.
It's tiny, but I'll find a bigger one and
Okay.
and
There
give it
are
a-
better ones. Or I can just do this. Put it up on Still Store, Cambot.
Yay!
I'm sorry, what?
I'm that much of a dork.
Yay!
My daughter is now addicted to MST3K too, which is pretty awesome.
Sweet.
Highly recommend.
Yeah. And I caught like the last minute of Kevin Murphy a couple of days ago.
So awesome.
Oh, we were talking to Tom Servo. So you know what? I'll just go with that as my answer. I
Okay.
can't remember when you asked me that question like 20 minutes ago. Yeah.
I think it was a good answer.
That's a much better picture.
That is a much better picture.
Oh,
Slightly different angle, but that was a...
Put it on that
That is
page.
an awesome picture.
It can't really be a different angle.
No?
Yeah. Oh, good
Yeah.
point.
It's nowhere.
He is smart. He knows these things.
I see what you're getting at there. Let's see
Yeah.
if I can find the appropriate one.
I wonder